Hey guys, good afternoon. Just wanted to give you all a little trade update here, a trade idea that I just noticed here, so I kind of wanted to go ahead and share that with you before I jump in there myself. I told you the other day that I like to look at this page here on Fidelity, um, just to kind of give me an idea. It gives you the top 30 stocks being purchased during the day, or with Fidelity anyways, and so I'll kind of scroll through here and see what kind of large moves I have, if there's anything that's worth noting. And sure enough, as I was scrolling through here, I noticed, and I'll just show you, point it out here real quick for you. I noticed that FOSL right here was up 71%, and I thought, what in the hell is going on with FOSL to warrant that? So I started kind of looking into it, and I'll just kind of walk you through it here real quick. So we're up now 72%, but I went over here to the news to see what was going on, and they had reported their latest quarter here this morning, and you see some of these headlines that they explodes 50% after earnings, yada yada yada. So I was just kind of looking here, so I found this little summary, so I kind of wanted to point it out. So for me anyways, it beat the expectations. I see here, and I'll point out. So they reported a net loss here of 79, call it 80 million, or $1.65 a share. Had 921 million in revenue. That is down from 959 from last year. The loss per share was said was because of the tax law. So after adjusting, they actually earned 64 cents, which is still down from last year, $1.03, and the analysts had looked for 40 cents, so they delivered a 24-cent beat. And the analysts had looked for 890 million in revenue, which, like I said, they had 921. So they beat the analysts' expectations, but they're still pretty bad versus last year. So it's still declining for last year. It said that they're focusing on smart wearables and all this kind of jazz, and so they expect margins to improve and yada 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 yada. So this is kind of one of those things that, like I said, for it to go from a $9, $8 a share to now it's at 15.5, almost 16, and actually has been above 16 intraday. I just don't really know that news or that report is enough to justify a double almost in price. If one day you're worth $10 and the next day you're worth 20, and the only thing you did was report that you lost more money than last year and you made less money than last year, I don't really see how that should be considered like a long-term bullish way to play it. Now, this might be a short covering because it was a heavily shorted name, meaning that people had been shorting this stock for a long time, and they had bought in probably, or they had sold this thing short as it spiked into these rallies. So now they're holding shares short, and they have to buy them back in order to close out their position. So this large of a volume kind of makes me think that that's what's going on here, that this is just a short covering rally. So I don't know if it'll be sustainable, and I doubt that it will, which is why I'm actually looking to play this for a short-term bearish play. And actually, I'll set the trade up here for you. Pretty much I'm looking to buy some puts in the name. I am looking to buy the 15s that expire in March. And in order to kind of lower the cost, I'm going to sell the $10 puts against those. So I will limit my potential gain, but I will also lower my capital outlay at the beginning and stuff. And like I say, I don't think this thing's going to fall to zero. So anything I can do to offset some of these costs of the puts will be fine. So that's why I'm selling the 10s against it. I don't think we see 10, so I'm comfortable selling those to whoever wants to buy them. So like I say, this is a little short-term trade that I think that you can kind of hop in here, and you could short the stock outright. I don't think it's impossible for us to go up to this extension here at 17 bucks. And I kind of tried to look back at the chart to see some other days that had acted similarly where it had gapped out, but there's not much there in the past, so not in the recent future anyways. So I'm not really going to use any of that as my decision-making criteria there. So like I say, I think you could come on up here to 17. That would be about another $1.30 from here. So in that case, you would pretty much be looking at an 80% gain. And whether or not that happens today or tomorrow, or it happens at all, I don't really know. Like I said, we've met some of these other targets here, so it's very well possible that this thing, and it opened up here, and right now we're trading lower. So throughout the day, and I'll show you just real quick because that'll kind of make the trade look a little bit easier. If we look at the 10-day, 15-minute chart here, we actually opened up, like I say, up here we opened kind of popped higher for a second, and then the sellers were able to come in and drive this thing back down to 14 bucks, and actually 13.80 was the low. And the price of that spread I was talking about will profit if it breaks below this low. So that's kind of why I've set that trade up as I have. Like I said, that's buying the 15s and selling the 10s. So we are buying puts here and we are selling puts here against them. So like I say, this will profit all the way down to here. Below that, then I'm losing, but at the same time, or my profits are capped rather at the $10 area. So I think that I'm just going to let this one kind of bounce higher throughout the rest of the day here, because I think that's kind of what it seems like it wants to do. And you can see that intraday as shares are catching a bid and they were breaking out to new highs, and this thing's actually still in a buy mode with these moving averages looking like they are. The 5 minutes, same thing, it's in a buy mode. I expect, like I say, this thing to retest these highs, but if I can get a better price up here at the top, then I will definitely go ahead and jump in there, and I'm pretty sure I'll be in there before the end of the day. So if you want to look for a short-term short play, I think FOSL is a good name to kind of take a look at, because I don't think that it's worth double what it was yesterday, just because of a report that says they're losing more money than they did last year. Okay guys, a little bit more to come in a little bit.